The idea that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was officially declared dead after an Iranian assault stands out as one of the quickest spreading falsehoods to come out of the heightened tensions between Israel and Iran. That shadow conflict intensified sharply toward the end of 2025 and continued strongly into the opening months of 2026. Almost immediately after Iranian-linked state media outlets and related Telegram groups started sharing different versions of this story, people began seeing blurry photos claiming to show smoke rising from what they called the Prime Minister's office area in Jerusalem or a protected nearby home. Very soon, search terms like Netanyahu killed Iran missile shot to the top in various languages on sites such as X, TikTok, Instagram, and WhatsApp chats, especially in the Middle East and parts of South Asia. The phrasing in many of these posts closely copied dramatic headlines from questionable news collection pages, certain channels supporting Iran on Telegram, and even some brand new websites thrown together just days or weeks earlier. Those sources often repeated the exact same lines word for word. Breaking. Netanyahu confirmed dead in Iranian strike. Frequently matched with old pictures of the prime minister or blasts from Israel taken long before, with no real connection. What gave this story real staying power was how carefully it copied the look and feel of genuine urgent news alerts. The term confirmation suggests solid checks from several unrelated sources, formal announcements, and thorough fact-crossing, things that were completely missing here. On the other side, all the main Israeli news organizations, Haaretz, Yedioth Ahronoth, Israel Hayom, Can 11, Channel 12, Channel 13, along with global news wires like Reuters, AFP, AP, and major Western networks with teams based in Jerusalem, such as BBC, CNN, Sky News, France 24, and Deutsche Welle, either stayed quiet on the rumor or directly called it false, within roughly 12 to 18 hours. There was zero official notice of any death from the Prime Minister's office, the Israeli Defense Forces Public Affairs Team, the Foreign Ministry, the Knesset, or anyone close to Netanyahu's family and protection detail. Instead, representatives from his office put out brief, firm statements describing the reports coming from Iranian sources as deliberate mind games and standard government misinformation tactics. The total lack of trustworthy pictures or recordings seriously weakens the whole story. In a time when phone videos, drone shots, and real-time satellite views appear online within minutes after big events, nobody produced even one genuine image, short clip, or location-tagged photo proving a strike actually hit Netanyahu or showing clear signs he had died. Any photos that went around showing flames and smoke above Jerusalem or Tel Aviv almost always came from recycled material, either from Iran's missile launches back in October 2024 or from separate events like Houthi drone strikes or Israeli military drills gone wrong. Fact-check groups ran reverse image checks and quickly linked nearly all the popular pictures to old stock video collections or past conflict records. Also, the moment when this rumor spread the most lined up oddly with times when Iran faced serious setbacks on the battlefield. While Iran's missile attacks did cause civilian harm and destroy buildings in various Israeli cities like Be'er Sheva and Rishon LeZion, they failed to break through Israel's layered defenses, systems like Arrow, David's Sling, and Iron Dome. So when the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed a surprise success against what they called the Zionist Leadership Hub, they needed a strong story to go with it. Announcing the Israeli Prime Minister's death, proof or no proof, helped redirect attention at home and in the region away from how little real damage their Khaybar Shikan and Fatah missiles actually did in that wave of attacks. This false story started almost entirely inside Iran's tightly managed media environment before leaking out through friendly or eager reposters. The first messages pushing the death idea showed up on pages connected to the IRGC official Telegram groups, Persian language sites tied to the regime, and semi-official X accounts long used by hardline voices inside Iran. One of the earliest versions, posted right after the missile window ended, said in Persian something like, By divine assistance, the guilty Netanyahu faced justice in tonight's honorable mission, complete with explosion emoji and Palestinian flag. In almost no time, very similar notes, often auto-translated into Arabic, Urdu, Turkish, English, popped up on supportive accounts, giving the false impression of widespread independent sources agreeing. Then the viral machine kicked in. Pages with tens or hundreds of thousands of followers, many located in Pakistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, and Iranian communities abroad in Europe, shared it straight or with tiny additions. The short, punchy style, brief message plus eye-catching photo plus alarmist words, made it spread like wildfire thanks to platform algorithms. Once English versions caught on, the rumor had already racked up millions of views, reposts, shares, and quote tweets. A lot came from people dropping victory emojis or patriotic phrases instead of asking for real proof. Tags like Netanyahu dead, Iran hits back, justice for Gaza, and end to Zionism climbed the trending lists in the region, pushing it even further no matter the truth. Iran's official media took a careful approach. Main channels like Press TV and Tasnim News avoided flat-out saying Netanyahu was gone. Instead, they used careful wording: uncertain status, strike on key command location, major damage to Zionist leadership, leaving space for outside voices and supporters to jump to the stronger claim of death. This lets the government keep some distance while still gaining the propaganda win. The total silence from respected news organizations serves as the clearest sign this claim had no substance. Leading Israeli TV stations and papers, which follow security developments around the clock with direct contacts to officials, never carried any word of the prime minister dying, even ones that regularly question Netanyahu's decisions, like Haaretz, or stay close to the government, like Israel Hayom, or public broadcaster Con 11 made no mention of any confirmed killing or loss of the leader. Their updates instead covered missile defenses working, civilian losses in areas such as Beit Shemesh, where 9 died in one strike, damage reports across central Israel, and instructions from Netanyahu to step up actions against Iranian positions. Global wires did the same. Reuters ran ongoing live coverage of the Israel-Iran clashes without adding anything about Netanyahu's death. The AP sent out reports on attacks, deaths, and diplomatic effects, but nothing suggesting a power gap in Jerusalem. AFP described the missile patterns and reactions without backing any claim of success targeting the prime minister personally. Western channels with reporters on the ground, CNN, BBC Middle East Desk, Sky News, France 24, Deutsche Welle, gave full coverage to the launches, defense responses, and Netanyahu's promises to ramp up the fight. None of them ran sourced reports confirming he was gone. Several even showed fresh clips of him speaking, like in a Fox News interview where he called the fight limited in time, focused on fast, firm moves to remove what he described as a direct danger from Iran's government. Al Jazeera, often sharp in its criticism of Israel, covered the rising tensions and Iranian statements, but refused to back the death idea, instead pointing out no Israeli confirmation existed. Even channels in the Arab region or closer to Iran's view, like Al Mayadeen or some Lebanese stations, repeated the IRGC's vague hints about unclear outcome, but never went to full confirmation with solid backing. That quiet from these places isn't accidental. It shows strict checking rules in major conflicts. Editors insist on multiple confirmed sources, particularly for reports about a current national leader dying in wartime. No family statement appeared. No urgent Knesset gathering happened for succession rules. No flags dropped to half-staff. No Foreign Office messages or briefings noted any leadership shift. By comparison, when Iranian media later confirmed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's death in Israeli-American actions, many international sources reported it right away with references to Iranian announcements and U.S. verifications, showing how real high-level deaths get handled with speed and cross-checks. The Iranian side leaned on a video from an IRGC officer aired through Fars News, claiming Khaybar-Shikan missiles scored direct impacts on Netanyahu's Jerusalem office site and another spot tied to the Israeli Air Force head. But the clip offered nothing visual. No location details, no target-specific damage shots, no signs of follow-up blasts or emergency responses that would point to a major success. Real reporting expects things like satellite views from companies such as Maxar showing exact hit points, location-verified user videos, or official follow-ups for big claims like this. Nothing appeared. Fact-check teams inside key outlets, including at the Times of Israel, which straight-up called the Iranian statement fake in their live updates, pointed out the huge gap between Iran's claims and any real effects in Israeli news or daily life. Specialized fact-checking groups moved fast to take apart the story, using standard steps to find origins, review proof, and deliver firm conclusions. The Times of Israel ran a clear response in its coverage, citing the Prime Minister's office labeling the IRGC video fake while placing it in the larger attack context. They stressed no outside proof backed the unclear fate line, and later reports showed Netanyahu staying in charge without any break. Tempo.co in Indonesia did deep research and ruled the March 3, 2026 death rumor from Iranian action as untrue. They checked videos and photos going around, finding many appeared AI-made or edited. They noted Netanyahu showed up live on Fox News YouTube that day, talking about conflict length and plans for change in Iran. Clear proof from timestamps and discussion. One News published a full breakdown of social media claims about assassination or even escape to Germany, calling them baseless, with no official support. They pointed to a Prime Minister's office note confirming meetings with the defense head, military chief, and Mossad director in Tel Aviv soon after the supposed strike time, showing command stayed normal. Dubawa, working across Africa and beyond, clearly marked the Netanyahu death claim false, noting no Israeli news or government word and comparing it to confirmed reports about other figures. Similar checkers in South Asia linked Urdu and Arabic shares to old blast footage from earlier attacks, tagging the whole death tale as boosted misinformation lacking any base. Those checks used image reverse lookups, clip data review, timelines matching launches to Netanyahu's schedule, and checks against official releases. For example, the Prime Minister's office put out notes promising more strikes, and records showed his March 3rd visit to Palmachim Air Base, where he met commanders, thanked drone teams, and repeated plans to increase pressure on Iran and handle Hezbollah. Those open events, backed by photos, video comments, and officials present, directly proved he was neither dead nor out of action. All these separate checkers agreed the rumor acted as typical conflict propaganda, meant to look strong inside Iran while spreading doubt elsewhere. On March 2, 2026, the IRGC put out a message through channels like Fars News and Telegram saying their units carried out a planned surprise retaliation for earlier U.S.-Israeli moves. They stated Khaybar-Shikan ballistic missiles, sometimes written Khaybar-Shikan or Khyber, landed directly on two key spots: Benjamin Netanyahu's office area in Jerusalem and a site connected to Air Force Chief Tomer Bar. A military officer appeared in a video shared via semi-official paths, calling it a precise, blessed counterstrike that broke through defenses using solid fuel, medium-range missiles praised for dodging systems like Arrow and David's Sling. Some versions called them near-hypersonic, though experts describe them as quasi-ballistic with about 1,250-kilometer range built for overwhelming defended areas. They presented it as one step in repeated responses, adding that Netanyahu's condition stayed unknown afterward, hinting at possible success in removing or badly hurting him, but without photos, location info, or extra proof like target-specific blast images. No reports came in of missile hits in Jerusalem during that claimed period. Sirens sounded and defenses worked over the city and nearby without confirmed breakthroughs at official sites. The Prime Minister's office quickly and firmly rejected everything. the supposed hit on his location, and any idea of uncertain status, calling it complete fake news built for mental pressure. That came through official lines and showed up in Israeli media live feeds, noting no strike reached those places and no harm or losses at the office compound. Military spokespeople backed it up, saying interceptions succeeded in the wave with no wounds from any Jerusalem leadership area hit, and defenses ran as normal without signs of breach at important command points. They described the Iranian words as standard regime, spin to hide weak results, especially after Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's confirmed death in prior strikes shifted attention from Iran's setbacks. Netanyahu kept up normal public work without pause, statements promising stronger action on Iran, sessions with defense and intelligence leaders in Tel Aviv, and a recorded trip to the strike damage in Beit Shemesh, where civilians died, all proving steady control and personal security. That sharp response fit Israel's wider plan to hit back at false info fast in tense times, stopping rumor growth while keeping defense details private. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu showed unbroken command by going in person to the site of a fatal Iranian missile hit in Beit Shemesh on March 2, 2026, where 9 civilians, including 3 brothers and sisters, lost their lives and more were hurt from the March worst attack. With military and security teams alongside, he looked over the ruined buildings, gave comfort to families in mourning, hoped for fast healing for the injured, and promised state help to repair homes. Government press photos captured him there, standing in the damaged area, speaking to reporters and people nearby. In remarks made on-site during Day 3 of Operation Roaring Lion, a combined U.S.-Israeli effort, he criticized the Iranian government for hitting civilians, compared it to Israel's protective steps, and cautioned that nuclear weapons plus ballistic delivery in Iran's hands would endanger not only Israel, but everyone on Earth. He presented the mission as safeguarding Israel, the United States, and the wider world, stressing teamwork with President Trump against serious risks. Netanyahu also spoke of larger aims, saying Israel wanted to set the stage for Iranians to remove their oppressive government after 47 years, pressing them to seize the chance for liberty and new leadership. That highly visible visit, covered widely on air and in pictures, completely disproved any suggestion he was harmed or missing after the claimed strike on his site. Around that same window, in various public comments, Netanyahu repeated plans to raise military pressure on Iran and laid out key goals. During the Beit Shemesh stop and separately in a Fox News Hannity interview, he called the current actions swift and firm instead of endless fighting, saying Iran's government stood at its lowest strength in decades since taking over. He noted this effort, much stronger than past ones, hit revolutionary guard bases, missile storage, and related dangers to wipe out the threat of a nuclear Iran able to avoid retaliation. Without action, he said, Iran might build huge missile numbers and become unreachable, putting Israel, American troops, and international stability at risk. He described the steps as opening doors to peace, letting Iranians build a free government free from harsh control. In video addresses and remarks, he spoke straight to the Iranian population. Help is here, and you are not our enemies, while promising the sound of Israeli operations would echo globally. Those moments, briefings with defense and Mossad heads in Tel Aviv, confirmed site trips, media talks, proved his steady role through the rising conflict. The death story exploded most during the height of March 2026 missile exchanges between Israel and Iran, with nightly Iranian launches at Israeli urban areas and Israeli aircraft hitting far inside Iran. Social feeds overflowed with unchecked videos of blasts over Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and elsewhere, wrongly labeled as evidence against Netanyahu's location. No solid proof existed. No impact craters at the claim spot, no urgent medical moves near government zones, no internal security leaks, no breaks in Israeli leadership flow. Yet none of that stopped the rush. The real disorder of war. Sirens, shelter warnings, actual civilian losses in places like Beit Shemesh made wild claims mix easily with true events. Iranian official channels and supporters pushed vague talk of hits on command hubs without details, letting viewers read death into the uncertainty. The tale hit hardest in places already leaning against Israel, with shares jumping in Arabic, Persian, Urdu, and Turkish groups. Even with fast fact-checks and Israeli pushback, the raw feelings from the war, stirred by Khamenei's death reports and worries about bigger fighting, kept it alive in closed circles long after trusted sources shut it down. It spread in typical state-supported misinformation style, born in IRGC-connected Telegram and Fars channels, then flowing through supportive voices in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and overseas networks before reaching bigger sites. Matched reposts used same wording and reused old visuals, faking broad agreement. Automated accounts and big follower pages lifted it with happy messages, while algorithms favored intense, fast content over careful detail. In active wars, false info wins by moving quickest. Claims beat fixes by hours or longer. Israeli authorities responded promptly, but the first empty space let millions see it. Solid sources, Reuters, AP, BBC, Haaretz, Times of Israel, kept giving checked facts without touching the rumor, showing why checking several trusted places matters. In rapid conflicts, trust only single-sided or biased reports at your own risk. Official words, location-proven material, and clear ongoing leadership actions stand as strong guards against information attacks. Putting everything in focus, this close look reveals the rumor's weak foundation. It started in unchecked Iranian messaging and online excitement, faced strong takedowns from Israeli authorities and worldwide fact-checkers, and met Netanyahu's steady public determination during actual missile threats, promising to remove serious dangers even as false stories kept coming with zero backing. This stands as a clear warning. Lies grow strong in the haze of war, feeding on feelings, twisting what really happens, and showing why staying alert to one-sided claims remains our best protection in uncertain days. Here at Reality USA Reports, our job goes beyond telling the news. We equip you to navigate the confusion. If this breakdown sharpened your view, subscribe today and turn on notifications. Join those who skip the nonsense and stay informed ahead of the curve. Drop a comment. What's the most obvious false story you've noticed in this Israel-Iran conflict? Let's discuss honestly. Until the next update, keep questioning and stay sharp.